I go by Bob X. My real name's Robert Moriarty, and I've been Bob X since about 1982. I like the X part because X in mathematics represents the unknown. So I thought maybe if I created a little mystique around the name, it may create interest in the art. When I was about 2 or 3 years old, I learned how to hold a pencil. I was never exposed to much good art as a kid. I grew up in a time where that was looked on as sort of frivolous. I had a teacher named Miss Townsend, and she brought these little flashcards in of paintings of all these different artists. There was one card in particular, it was the Three Musicians by Pablo Picasso. And I was just fascinated by that. When I saw that, it really changed me. I started collecting as a kid, Mad Magazine, Marvel comic books, Creepy Magazine, the gum cards by Wally Wood and Basil Wolverton. All those things kind of converged and just created this massive pop culture influence. Although I didn't know it at the time, I was building a foundation for my own art. When I do a piece, I'll sit down with a sketchbook and I'll just start throwing out ideas, you know, just kind of trying to get loose with it. And once I've got several pages of ideas, then I go back later and look at those and see if it's anything that would translate into a painting. Somebody asked me one time, they said, well, how do you do your painting? And I said, well, you know, it's sort of like paint by numbers, except there's no numbers. Yeah, I can see it in my mind, you know, I can see a picture in my mind, and then I just try to translate that onto canvas or paper. For years, people have asked me to put a label on my art, to try to put a name on my art. I've never been able to do that. But like this book I got out, that's out on Fantagraphics, they call the art Newave, which was sort of coinciding with the music of the 80s. I never really went in for that term, but it's kind of the one that stuck. Thing is, when you freelance, if you don't work, you know, you don't pay bills, you don't eat. So in order for me to survive, I have to constantly keep producing. So these bigger projects help pay the bills. That then allows me to do smaller and, you know, more personal work for myself. My favorite part is just being able to, you know, do what I want and have the freedom of self-expression. Oh, Memphis is my home. I love Memphis. I mean, you go anywhere in the world and you say Memphis, people automatically respond to it. It doesn't matter where you're at, the furthest corner of the world. Memphis, Elvis Presley, ah yes, you know, they know it everywhere you go. The main thing that makes Memphis great, it's the people. People here are great. I approach life as art, you know. Well, go back in France and look in the cave walls and you'll see art. And somebody's painting something right now, somewhere in the world. Everything that was ever built, every machine, every piece of furniture that was ever created was an idea in somebody's mind first. They had to create the art to make the actual object manufactured or created. So, in a sense, art is the end all of everything. Art, in a way, is one of the most significant careers you could have. It's one of the most important things on this planet. If there was no art, we would have no culture. I mean, what would America be? What would Europe be? What would Asia be without the art that identifies them? The Romans said it, life is short, art is long.